So about a week ago, there was a shocker. DeAndre Hopkins was traded to the Arizona Cardinals for this man, David Johnson. This was a pretty shocking move, mostly because probably could have gotten a lot more value for DeAndre Hopkins than what they got. Um, so what was the trade? One of the reasons it was shocking, as I mentioned before, was because you could have gotten a lot more value for DeAndre Hopkins than the Texans did. So arguably, if you want to trade him, sure. I mean, a wide receiver in the league isn't an elite wide receiver can be argued isn't that valuable in this league. That's fair. That's a fair arguable. I mean, you look at the Browns. They have Jarvis Landry and Jarvis Landry. That's wrong pronouncing. Sorry. And Odell Beckham Jr. And this year, the quarterback couldn't get enough protection from their offensive line, and that kind of led them to be screwed. And they couldn't. Odell didn't have as great as a year, and Jarvis Landry didn't have as great as a year, and the Browns overall failed expectations, didn't make the playoffs. So yeah, it's a fair argument to say elite wide receiver isn't exactly as is elite wide having an elite wide receiver is a little bit overrated. But the value they got for DeAndre Hopkins just wasn't equal to his value. They got David Johnson and a second round pick. And obviously they got a fourth this year. But I mean they traded away a fourth for a fourth round pick. So either way, those fourth round picks essentially cancel out, or not essentially don't cancel out in value, but they're somewhat equal to each other. And David Johnson has been somewhat injured the last 2 years, and frankly hasn't been as good since 2017. And he wasn't that good 2017. The only reason people think that was a good season for him was because fantasy wise he was good. So yeah, this is horrible value for the Texans. I don't know what they're doing. Bill O'Brien's a horrible GM. I don't understand why they don't have another GM in place instead of him, because can't do two jobs at once. The thing about this deal, for the sake of the Cardinals, or for the side of the Cardinals, I think it's a really good deal. Gives Kyler Murray a weapon on offense, or an elite weapon on offense. Obviously, they got more holes to figure out in the draft. David Johnson was a big contract that they got off the books, or not huge contract, but I mean this year was owed $10 million, and it was obvious that they were going to keep with Kenyon Drake at running back. So good for them there. Obviously they have to address the offensive line and the defense in the draft or in free agency too. But yeah, overall it's a good deal for the Cardinals, and yeah. So Cardinals hit a home run on this. Texans, not so much. It's more or less of a trash fire for them, on my opinion of what they think or what they did on this trade. If I had to do, Texans would get an F minus and the Cardinals would get an B plus on this trade. So yeah, that's my opinions.